All right. Welcome, ghouls, demons, weird ones. I know, buddy. What is this? Say, whoa, whoa, whoa. That smells like outside, Mom. It is outside. Oh, he's like, oh. All right. Hi. So this is a candle story. I used to do these on TikTok. This is when TikTok was super time limited. I think at that point they did allow 3 minutes when I was doing a lot of this, but for a long time it used to only be a minute was your max. It was 30-second to minute videos. So I always struggled and I didn't like it, but now that things are getting more verbose, it's fitting me. And I guess YouTube has always been my platform. I don't know, again, multiple reasons why I avoided it for so long, but here we are resurrecting the candle stories and evolving them. I know Katie is super excited for me to talk about this. This is her candle. So Katie is one of my top supporters, from the beginning. She has supported my candles, and I think her and Todd are neck for neck on who has the most weird curations and weird candles. So this is the Temple of Set, and this is a intuitive order for Katie. And she sent me the alligator jaw, she sent me the clock, and she gave me boxes and boxes and boxes of glass and crystal. So the bowl, I'm pretty sure, came from her as well. The skull is mine. This is a cinnamon bark, and I went outside and got all these freshly fallen leaves and mulch and dirt and things. This is from a bouquet of mine. A lot of my flowers are from bouquets I buy for rituals or from my husband buys me or things like that. But yeah, so this piece, she wanted me, she's like, can you do something with the alligator jaw and the clock? And I was like, yeah. And I had a few ideas. I had quite a few ideas and didn't really work. This took a lot longer than I anticipated. What I wanted was the clock to be kind of in a vase, so it looked like an hourglass or something like that. Kind of a play on the Sandman with with a literal clock instead of the sand. There's a few things I was feeling, it just didn't work. I couldn't find anything that fit the clock in the way that it needed to. I cracked a couple things. It just wasn't what it was supposed to be, or I guess what it was meant to be, whatever. And so then, because I was like, this clock is going to be a bitch. It's gonna be a motherfucker to bake a bowl out, a top out of. This is not a good base. Bases, I build bases out of a lot of different things, but this one, it was a curvy point. It you might see it in the creation video where it's the pieced apart, but I was there's usually at least a Coke bottle flat surface of some kind, this was the challenge. And so it took me hours to build a bowl out of glue and mud and sticks and leaves. And eventually it worked. It's stable. I'm not gonna hold it by the bowl because that's just gonna wear out the integrity of it, but I do test them by holding the bowl and lifting it a little bit. So it's as you saw, it's stable, but it's still fragile. So I worry about it a lot. I've already warned Katie, so this would be one that part of the design with the wax around the edges. So I wanted it to look like the gator was peeking through the wall, coming up, rising. So the last time I did a set candle, it was a vessel called the Rise of Set, and I resurrected him 2 or 3 times. 2 times. And so this is the third set candle. This one's the Temple of Set, because it was such a temple. I don't know, it just kind of gave an evolution of that, but I wanted to keep that rising symbolism within the gator coming up from the surface, especially for me personally. Ending my Pisces Saturn return, that felt symbolic to me, because Pisces is all about the oceanic depths, your unconscious and subconscious mind, your shadow work. And set is a huge part of your inner shadow and that aspect of things. And so as we're in this like retrograde final stages of Saturn and Pisces before it's fully peak Aries Saturn energy and cycle or whatever, I just thought it's just like the anglerfish that was from the surface that or from the bottom that rose to the surface, excuse me, same thing. So it's absolved into the light by reaching the surface. It's peaking, and so I really liked that symbolism. But again, back to the base, as it melts and all of this wax gets hot, it'll I say hopefully, I've done it before and it's worked, but you know, there's a lot of possibilities in art and life, and so it's supposed to melt and then it'll build like a solid like wax seal. There's already a wax seal on top of the glue and all of like, because like I said, I built the base like cup for the bowl, so if the bowl comes out, it'll still hold like the shape of it for the most part because of how much glue I used, but it could still warp from the heat because I use hot glue because I like everything to be repurposable. So I like people to be able to use like a heat gun to break down the hot glue so that way they can reuse every part and recycle it in their own workings, or they can keep the vessel as is and repurpose it. I can refill a candle, or they can use it for like an altar piece, or they can use it as like kind of like a jewelry holder. Like there's so many different ways that you can incorporate pieces, or like I said, or you can refill it, regift it, whatever. If people resell it, you gotta give me credit. There's gotta be something to that, but like generally speaking, once you buy it, I can't do anything about it. But people have asked me that, and I don't like copycats. I don't like, I want people to do their own thing, but if it's resold, like, just like, yeah, like Wyrd Creations made this vessel, I refilled it, I did this, and I'm gifting it to you, or I'm reselling it, blah, blah, blah. Like people do, there's resellers out there all the time. The thing is, people usually know that it's a reseller. Okay, so if someone is reselling vintage clothing, the reseller is not pretending to be the designer, you know? So like, that's kind of the essence with it, to answer that side of things, because it's like, well, what do you do with it? If I don't want to take it apart, what do I do? Thousands of things, and magic just keeps paying forward and moving forward and transmuting and ascending and blah, 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 like just reincarnating, recycling over and over again. That's how energy works. Can't be created or destroyed, right? So yeah, so I didn't know what to do with this like plate thing. It was just a weird thing that ended up in one of my glass. I don't know where I found it, but I have it. And I was like, okay, I always keep things till they have a purpose. Just like dads do, they have stuff in their garage. I'm a hoarder dad with art supplies because I will use it eventually. So I glued the foundation. I wanted to kind of look like, it's a very fall candle. One of the fragrances mixed in here is like, it's called Autumn Glow. It's by Candle Science. It was a sample I used trying to find some more fall, less like natural scents. I wanted to expand my fragrances. People have asked me to, and so I've been trying out some of the other synthetic or unnatural scents. So it's through the natural fragrance oils that these companies make. I don't know the correct term, so I don't want to fuck it up by saying the wrong thing, but that's what is on the bottle or the label or whatever. So I wanted it to be very fall, and I got some Scorpio energy. I'm not too sure exactly what that is. Maybe like the shadows. It could be very Halloween. It's a very fall candle, and I don't know. I haven't really been to Florida. I know Florida through Dexter, and I've been to Florida 3-4 times. And so I don't know what it looks like really in the fall, or like in dead leaves with like the gator, but I hope this kind of gave like just like a gator going through the land, the swamp kind of vibe for the most part. And like the death energy, like the dead leaves, the bone. So there's that transformation energy of like the shadow work. There's alchemy. I've had a couple people comment about it being very Peter Pan with the clock and the gator and Captain Hook, and I was like, that, which makes a lot of sense. So I really, really love that. This skull, it's a gold sandstone. I got it in Florida, actually. So I thought that was significant, that it kind of called out, and then I thought it brought up the leaves really nicely and the gold tones. And just kind of that like autumn sunset, you know, like the sun feels different in the fall, and that kind of gold sandstone reminds me of that. Or very desert, like the fall is very desert to me. Like summer isn't desert, fall is desert in a different way. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody but me, but so this is a cinnamon bark that is sealed on there through the wax, so it can be picked up and you can still smudge with it if Katie wants to. This is another part of the cinnamon bark. So this is like the alligator. This is the spine of the alligator. These are the I liked how the runes that came. I did a genuine rune pull, and these are the two runes that came out, and I love that they were similar shape to look like eyes, and I intentionally inverted them for like yin yang, duality, polarity, blah blah blah, all of those Hail Ted symbolisms, which adds more to the water, like the Ouroboros, the Pisces, like significant symbolism all the way through. I can't quite remember off the top of my head all of the crystals that I put in there, but these are black agate, not obsidian. I don't want people to get confused. It's black agate. This is a fossil seashell from that crystal lady. And then these are dyed howlite skulls, which I like the symbolism of everything. Because Katie, she originally wanted it for a different person who shall not be named. It was just this whole other situation. And so I incorporated certain things based off of that, which is, it's not funny, but Katie likes those things too. So the fact that now this candle is now for her, like she's not giving it as a gift anymore, she's keeping it for herself, which is what we talked about in our own private way, like why that's important for like the ritual workings and things of that nature. Like it's perfectly fine for her to use this talisman, even though it was originally requested for another being. I create them with the intention that the aligned person will use or utilize the candle. So if that happens to end up not being the person it was originally thought to be made for, that is divine intervention, because again, the intention is that the right candle will meet the right person at the right time, and they will light it in the right moment. So I firmly let Jesus take the wheel. Sorry, that was so silly. Only y'all pictured it how I pictured it in my head. Yeah, so I firmly believe in the divine intervention of that, and I relinquish control of that side of things, because I don't want, because ultimately the person who no longer deserves it would get it, and I don't like that. And then like where's the justice in that? Or then it goes to waste, or I have to like destroy it. No, it just gets repurposed in a healthier light. Just because you're born in an unhealthy environment doesn't mean that you can't transplant yourself into a healthier environment, you know? Oh, love that butterfly just flew by my window when I said that. That's so fun. I think that's and that's just a statement for people who come from like traumatic backgrounds and or maybe unideal situations. You know, you can always change your environment and adapt. Like alligator that talk about survivors, man. And I think that's kind of more into like the set and the alligator symbolism is, you know, you need to evolve to survive, and that primordial essence like deep within you that ensures your, when I say conquest, it's just like gators aren't extinct, other dinosaurs are, but gators aren't. And then there's a lot of dragon symbolism with like gators too, so there's a lot of fun in what all of that represents. Yeah, so the fragrance, so Autumn Glow, bay or buttered bay rum, and then Palo Santo. And so it has like a really nice, like woodsy, smoky, autumn like essence to it. The bay rum, it adds like sweetness. So it reminds me of having a few drinks or cocktails, really. Having a few cocktails with your rum, which is very Florida, very Caribbean. I don't know. It's just it's that swamp vibe of having some drinks out in Bayou. I don't know. I'm not of that culture. I don't know if I'm saying it right. So apologize if I'm offending anybody, but that's like the vibe. Like if you were to go to like New Orleans, Florida, like all of those like swampy gator, Everglades? Yeah, that's just kind of like what it smells like. So there is like a woods element to it, but then there's like the drink element to it. There's a swampy vibe to it, which is where the color, so it's black and brown for like this really green, like bronzish color that I love how it just, I don't know, it just adds like an algae underground vibe. Just fun. I'm really excited with how this piece came out. Like I can't say enough good things about it. The clock, I didn't know if it was gonna work or not, and I didn't want to deal with anything because I don't know a whole lot about stuff like that. My husband said it would have been an easy fix, wear gloves, take the battery out, clean it. I didn't want to deal with all of that because I would have gotten really upset if it didn't work. Like I don't want to go through that process just for it to, I don't know, because like it looks so fucked up inside the battery. Like it was, I don't know the terms, but it would like crystallize, and I don't see the clock working again unless someone with a better clock engineering skill fixes it. But the wind for the hands was able to move, and so I fit it for 369 as best as possible, but I also like how it looks like a balanced scale. And so like there is not only Scorpio energy, but then like October Libra energy with the balance of the scales, the turning of the wheel, not the veil thinning, but like all of those like symbolism with the New Year. That's what I want. Because I'm thinking of Halloween or Samhain, and it's like the witch's New Year. So like there's the turning of the wheel in certain philosophical or spiritual practices and beliefs at the like Halloween, Samhain time. Some people associate that more so with the winter solstice. I've heard people kind of subscribe to a variety of different beliefs. So there's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate it, but also with like that, the veil's gone, right? Madame Myth or Madame Rue, I believe it's Madame Rue on TikTok now. I still call her Madame Myth because that was her old name. It's what her name still is in my phone. But she had a video where she was talking about like the veil no longer existing, like we're in a transparent state of being. Like the dome has been lifted. We're out of the cave. You know, there's this grand collective awakening. So we have a new veil, essentially. The old veil is gone, and we have a new veil that was above the old veil. You know, whatever. So there's all of those cyclical evolutionary symbolisms within this piece as we're moving into a new age, a new generation, a new world, a new state of being. You can't deny with all the chaos going on that there is a huge death, rebirth, cataclysm, and synchronicity occurring right now. So anyway, this is the Temple of Set. I'm super stressed to ship him. I'm gonna be like a billion times extra careful than I normally am, and I'm already pretty careful, but shipping's a nightmare, and a lot of delivery people don't give a fuck. So poor Katie has had too many broken pieces. Some of it's due to me learning how to package like the best, and the other side is to UPS and USPS and FedEx and all of the above not giving a fuck about making sure that people's packages aren't just like thrown around like garbage. So I have fought them so many times. I've done so many disputes, so many things. I've lost so much money. It never goes anywhere. You file a complaint and it never goes anywhere. So fuck them. I want to take this moment to say that now, because Katie has been with me from the beginning. And like I said, she's lost a candle, one of the most gorgeous candles I ever made. She bought and it never made it to her. I think it was just the one. And then there's others that she got that ended up broken somehow, and just carelessness. Care more, people. So anyway, that's the Temple of Set. If you have any other questions about this piece, please comment below. But that's kind of like the story behind them, and just like all the things that I was thinking and feeling and incorporating. And it's just, it's a beautiful piece. It is like, it's a resurrection piece of myself. I've been making a lot of smaller pieces, not as many towers. One for events or this or that, for people by request. These are more expensive. So this would be, this, honestly, so it's 30 ounces of wax. This is 30 ounces of wax. And so it's a long it's a long burn time candle. It's a heavy duty candle. It took me 2 whole days to build all of this. So honestly, with shipping, I'd probably charge $300. If it was in an intuitive order, like tier, I would, because I usually round down because I want things to be more affordable for people. So I would eat the cost. So I'd probably tell them to choose a $250 tier for this. But to be fair to myself, this would be like a $350 tier, because of all the extra everything that I would put into shipping it to make sure it gets there safe. So there's extra cost in the shipping. But then they also comes like a magical sachet. So then to bump it up, I would probably add a few extras that go with it. But because Katie got me all the glass, and almost every piece that is incorporated into here, this is free for her. Like, I'm giving this to her and a few other candles in exchange for all the vessels that she found me at like estate sales and stuff like that. She has driven all over Florida to find glass for me because my life has been hectic. So she's really helped support me in getting all of this. So she gets free candles from me, and I get to go balls to the wall crazy and do all the fun stuff. So when people don't limit me to a budget or don't limit me to other things for a variety of reasons, when I get to just go balls to the wall, this is something that you'll get. Of course, budgeting and pricing changes things, but I always try to make it extravagant. But also, so if you aren't someone like Katie who isn't giving me like 5,000 boxes of glass, and let's say you just sent me the jaw, and the clock, and I did everything else, I would probably do $150 to $200 because you gave me quite a few pieces. Like a gator jaw, that would be a little hard to find, so that would take a lot of time and energy and effort. Or like the clock. But if you just tell me you want pieces, then it's like the full price tier. So that just kind of goes into like pricing. I know people are curious about prices, and it's hard to always be fair. So like I said, average pricing for this would probably be a $250 intuitive. I think they're called, let's see. Grand, I think my grand tower or candles are like the 150 tier. I can't remember. I think Colossal is 350. I don't remember what the 250 tier is named. That's so funny. But yeah, so anyway, that's kind of just to gauge that a little bit with where this would be. So this is, again, Temple of Set. I hope you guys enjoy him. He is a labor of love, and I know he's going to a really good home. And someone who has been just advancing in her own path through my candles. Like her testimonial about just her support, her love, and I guess her faith in what it is that I'm doing and me and everything. It's reflecting in how much I'm growing. And so it's really important to have really good friends like that in your life. So I want to take a moment to express all the gratitude in the world for that. Because I can always count on Katie to get one of my candles, and that is more than anything. Between Katie and Todd, those like are my 2 top candle people, some of my 2 best friends and greatest supporters. So enjoy, and I will see you next time for the next weird story time. All right. What do you guys put? What do you puppies think, huh? Is this one?